Welcome back to Tell the World. I'm your host, Ota, tonight. Did you see the State of Union address tonight? Did Trump do a great job tonight? Or did he not? Or did he pull a fast one? Did you see how he shrugged Nancy Pelosi off? Or did you see how Nancy ripped his speech up, piece by piece? Such confidence of herself. And the arrogance of Trump as he walks through the crowd and shakes hands and signs autographs. You know, I've said this so many times, and I've been saying this since last year. I've been saying it since Trump got elected. He will serve another term because he was placed in that office for a reason. Now, could it be a conspiracy that the votes were tampered with that put Trump into office? Because Trump has gotten away with many things. He has said many harsh things towards Americans, towards immigrants, towards blacks, towards other countries. He has even made sexual remarks towards women. Has Trump gotten away with something that no other president has ever gotten away with? Because he's still in office. And this impeachment, I thought it was a joke. He may have the impeachment on his file, on his legacy, but he still will be president again. I've been saying this for the longest because you have to think about it. Why is he in office? Why is he getting away with all of these things he's getting away with? This looks like TV episodes after episodes. And he has gotten almost 4 years of just, since he's been elected, episodes after episodes. And he's gotten away with so much. People have went to jail for Trump. This is how I look at all of this. Is this real? Is this a game? Are we really seeing all of this right before our eyes? Or did I say one time before, Trump is bulletproof? Is it really that white American? Is it really that Make America Great Again slogan? Is this real? Because this is scary. Because it looks like a big game out there to me. And we're watching these episodes. Years have went by and Trump is still behaving the same way. I knew they couldn't impeach Trump. Yeah, the evidence was there. But he's placed in office for a reason. And he has to finish his job that he was put in office to do. Meanwhile, Americans are still trying to afford health care, get better health care, get on some type of health insurance. Certain towns and cities and states need better wages to afford the cost of living, to afford the cost of gas prices that steady goes up. And these guys are playing games with our lives. I believe they both are. Both parties are. Democrats and Republicans. Because they have made this out of a soap opera. They have better health care. Their families will be taken care of. Or we hear some of the politicians' stories. But how close can that relate to us? Is it relation to any of us that we could seem to understand that some understand us? Because I really don't think they care about us. Trump's focus has been more outside of the United States than in the United States. The stock market, trades with China, dealings with Iran, talking to Kim Jong and North Korea. It's all a waste of time. Meanwhile, Americans are study suffering and waiting for that right person to do the right thing for us. I've always said, why do I have to vote for one man to do the right thing? Because Trump is one man in office. And every American lives is in his hands based on policies, bill signings, budget cuts. Those are livelihoods. Trying to live, not die. Some people are dying because they can't afford health care. They can't afford the prescriptions. They can afford one, but they can't get the other one. They have pain, and they can afford the pain pill, but they can't afford the infection pill. Our faith and our trust in politics has wore American down. All of us down. I don't believe that we could keep living the way we're living and keep doing this policy thing, this voting thing in our lives as it continues to go generations after generations. I've seen it in the 80s, the Reagan years. I've seen it in the President Carter years. I've seen it in the Bush years. I've seen it all in the Clinton years. I've even seen it in the Obama years. Nothing has changed. Everything seems to be the same. Nothing has changed. They fix some things, but the next party comes in, they mess it up. It's like dominoes. You set them up, we knock them down. I think our focus should just be on studying more, educating ourselves more, and just getting our own selves out of our own situation and just become our own person without depending on them to give us handouts. Because these handouts are not working for us. So we have to make things work for ourselves. Do we need them? Yes, we do need them because they're in office. They run the country. There's laws on the books in this Constitution that's supposed to abide by every citizen. I don't see it all working for every citizen. I just don't. I mean, to see tonight Rush Limbaugh be awarded tonight is like, wow, are you serious? This guy was fucking racist towards blacks, towards Jews, towards anybody other than his race. Then he backslides. He comes back. He drops tears to say that he's sorry. What are we dealing with? These guys are just making fun of us all. They're buffooning us. And it continues today, and it will continue after today. It's just all games. All games. Trump will never be out of office right now. The impeachment will just be on his legacy. I don't see any candidate right now that can run against him. Right now, Biden right now, his numbers are low. So he don't have a chance. And so we know how this goes. Trump will be elected again as president. It's just that plain and simple. I've been saying it since he's got elected. I called it out. And I've been saying since he got in, he will still be in office. He will get the same term as every other president gets. Good or bad. That's just how it goes. You set him up, we knock him down. Meanwhile, Americans are still trying to make ends meet. trying to do the best they can for their families. Some are trying to figure out their situation, as in, what do they do? Prescription drugs have ruined the country. Crime is still high. Killing is still up. It's outrageous out here. And we tend to worry about defending our country from the outside. But we need to take more time to look on the inside of our country. Because right now, inside our country, it's just not looking good. I love America. I really do. But these policies and these officials that's in office that we vote in, they're befooming us. Their families are taken care of. That needs to be said. So we on the outside have to look at our families. Placing your vote in that ballot is so important because you're voting for something. You're voting for a change, a transition for the best, the better. And this is what they're giving us every day on the news. It is like a Star Wars episode because the empire keeps striking back. And Trump still gets away what he gets away with. Right now, his tone is down a little bit. But come election, his tone is going to be up. It's just real important that if we do vote, we need to be voting for the right reasons and not just for ourselves. We all are in this as one. And if we can't work together, this is what we're going to keep dealing with when we vote someone in. And people are just not going to be happy. Sometimes you can go numb where it doesn't bother you anymore. So you accept it for what it is. And this is what they get away with. Protesting is not good enough if we don't stick to it. Does writing to our governors, to our officials, does that still help? We have to keep trying the ways that we've always tried. And if they're not listening, then we may have to behave like China had to behave. That people came together for the same reasons. We all saw it live on television because they're not hearing us. I don't suggest it doing that way. But if you've done everything the right way and it's still not working, what choices do you have left? Can one man change the world? He can change the world a little bit. He could spark it. He could educate our young people on making change. But when you have people coming in, destroying the new change and setting it back to the old ways, it's never a change. It's the same cycle, the same recipe that exists in America. Call it racism, call it Nazi, call it KKK, and call it whatever. Right now, America is just not looking the way it used to look. And the way it used to look seems like it's going further back the way it was. We were mild at one time. And I do believe that we have gotten closer together as a race. We can have conversations with whites, with blacks, with Spanish people. We can have conversations with all races. And I believe we have gotten an understanding towards each other. And we do see eye to eye. This is the time that we all have to come together. Because we are getting along outside of that White House. We are getting along. But at this point right now, I believe we're being taken advantage of. I believe Trump was placed in office for a reason, and whatever it is, I can't put my finger on it. But I think it's more than just his behavior that's buffooning us. I believe it's something a little bit more that's going on out there. And I think that we need to keep our eyes open and see this real picture. Because right now, that White House and those people that's in there don't seem like they're right. The people that we're voting for. Something doesn't seem right. Something just doesn't seem right. They says that 2 eyes is better than 1. We need to get all of our eyes together on this situation here because something's not right. Livelihoods are on the line. People's integrity, people's respect for each other is on the line. And if we got the officials behaving that way in the White House towards each other, how do they expect us to behave outside of that White House? That concludes Tell the World. Have a blessed evening.